maybe you need to talk to your park bench salesman. I don't know what you're doing, right? If you're wondering, where's my 1 hour time block of cold calling, it's not in there.
No.
Right.
And if we had no social media, I'd probably have a lot more time to do that.
That's also true.
We're not here to lie to you.
Right. These are the things I do. And then you have more time to do the things you suck at. Right?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous to assume you had no life duties that came up during the course of the day.
Hi, y'all. Welcome to Hustle Humbly. It's Alyssa and Katie, and we are two top producing realtors in the Baton Rouge market.
We work for two different companies where we should be competitors, but we have chosen community over competition.
The goal of our podcast is to encourage you to find your own way in business.
So stop comparing yourself and start embracing your strengths. Hi, Alyssa.
Hey, Katie.
Wow. It is episode 188.
Mm-hmm.
We were not as prepared as we thought we were.
No.
We sat down and Jay buckled us into the roller coaster and we didn't have our notebook or our pen, notes.
I think we're ready now.
Okay, I hope so, because we're going to talk about what to do and when to do it.
Okay. I think my little disclaimer for myself, for all you Enneagram 3s out there, this isn't like a should episode. We don't want to should on you or make you feel like you should have to do all these things.
No.
But I do think they're important, and it helps clean out the clutter of a lot of things. Like, these are pretty necessary things in your business.
I will give you the background that I made this real estate task frequency list, okay?
Okay.
It goes along with...
YouTube can look at it.
Oh, right. It's beautiful. It goes along with time management for agents. The
Okay.
course that I made, it's no longer available on its own, but sometimes it will be available as a bonus to database, or maybe when this episode comes out, if you're wanting to get your hands on the time management course, we'll let that be available with database for that couple of weeks or something.
That'd be good.
Yeah. So, but the point is, in order to get a grip on your time as an agent, you have to figure out what tasks are you doing and how often do you need to do them. I mean, let's take the perfect example when I think about this is, how many touches do they tell you to do to your database?
Gosh, anywhere from like 36 to 52
in a year, right?
Yeah.
So if you're touching the people that many times, think about all the time you're spending on that.
So much time.
But you don't, and that's 33, I mean, like once a week?
Yeah.
How often are...
Too much.
Too much.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about, maybe instead of telling you what you should do, we're going to give you permission to maybe do less.
Right.
Or change around what you're doing.
And I like this checklist because it shows the things, it's a realistic things that people do most days without meaning to.
Right.
It's just part of our day as a working full-time realtor.
Right. So I did with a coach, hey, back in the day, I did like a quick little mini call, like almost like a do you want to work together thing. We did not end up working together, and it wasn't a real estate coach. It was just a business coach.
Okay.
But she made me do the 3-day time audit. And basically, though, for 3 days, from awake until asleep, you write down what you do every 15 minutes. Wow. So what did you do in this 15-minute block through the whole day?
Okay. A time audit.
That's
pretty cool.
So it kind of gives you this overview of like what's happening on 3 work days. I didn't do it on the weekend, but 3 work days. What are you actually doing? So it was very eye-opening. And then, of course, you're kind of on your best behavior, right?
Yeah.
Like if someone's recording you, you're not going to be like, oh, I just scrolled Instagram for an hour and I don't know. I was supposed to be making dinner.
Right.
But at the same time, it kind of helped see, I was spending a lot more time traveling to appointments than I was really putting in my brain as travel time in my schedule.
Okay.
Do you know what,
yeah.
Anyway, that was sort of the beginning of me thinking about, what am I doing? Like, how often am I doing it? Do I need to do it less? Do I need to do it more?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think we all automatically focus on what do we need to do more.
It's also easy, like time flies by and you're like, I haven't even done anything today.
Right.
And now it's time to go home.
Think about how many days at the end you're like, what did I even do?
I know.
I feel like I'm either on one end of the spectrum or the other. What did I even do? Or, man, look at all the stuff I did today.
Right.
But, I mean, we have to see our work life and as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be judged on one day.
Correct.
Maybe you could judge the week or the month.
I think that's a very good point because none of our days look the same.
No.
And no matter how many times I have tried to listen to the motivational speakers that say to color code your calendar and time block in pink the time that you're making calls or this, like, it's not realistic for my business because every day is different.
Right.
I'm accommodating inspection schedules and I'm accommodating when a house comes on the market and I have to go show it. And I'm accommodating what the kids have that week.
Yeah.
And I can't say every Thursday, this is what I do.
Right.
Well, I guess I kind of do with the podcast.
Well, okay, that's a great example, though. You
Yeah.
decided to say, I'm going to take Thursday and I'm going to do this thing. It could have
Every
been
Thursday.
It could have been an office day, but you hold fast to it because other people are depending on you to show up.
Well, a really good example is, okay, so Thursdays, I do not show houses or have appointments. It's my podcast day.
Right.
It works 95% of the time.
Sure.
But I had an inspection that I needed to schedule this week. And he could either do late in the day Wednesday
Okay.
or Thursday.
Okay.
And I thought, I mean, I'm just going to have to find someone to get the kids because I am not available Thursday.
Right.
And that's what I did.
I don't know who says this, and it's more than one person, but it's like, if it's not in your calendar, it doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
So podcast day is in your calendar, it exists. It's the same thing if you want to have an off day or an office day or anything. Like if I had my kids had something at school that I wanted to go to, but I didn't have to go to, and I put it in my calendar, and then someone wants to do an inspection or a showing, I'm like, sorry, I have an appointment at that time.
Right. It's already booked.
So it's kind of like you gotta put those things in the calendar. You gotta block them off in order for them to get done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do we want to? So as we go through the list, I think part of it is not everyone's going to do all the same activities in their business.
No.
Maybe you like to meet with your title person every other week because y'all are doing some type of accountability together
Mhm.
or working on co-marketing, or
Mhm.
maybe you and your lender go to like certain events together.
Right.
Maybe you need to talk to your park bench salesman. I don't know what you're doing, right? Like maybe, so not everyone's going to do the same things. So you have to kind of go through the list and decide which ones are you going to do
Yeah.
and how often are you going to do them.
Okay.
But I want you to tell me, what are some things that you do daily that you feel like are required of you
Of myself.
in your business?
There are a few things I do every day, and yes, intentionally, but also it's just what I do. So it's not like
It's like the flow.
Yes. So one of the things I do is check out the Facebook birthdays.
Okay, right? Because that's how you're
That's how I keep
getting
track.
rid of the people.
And make the relationships I have left more intentional.
Okay, I like that.
I see whose birthday it is, and I ask myself, do I know you?
Yeah,
If I don't, I delete you.
if you do.
And if I do know you, I just send you a happy birthday message. And now Facebook knows that we know each other. And perfect example, one Facebook birthday popped up and I was like, I sold them their house. And I have to admit, they weren't someone I really knew before.
Okay.
And we looked at one and then it was the one. So I saw these people like
One to
three
three
times.
times.
I saw them when I showed them the house.
You were like, wow.
at the home inspection,
Right.
and at the closing.
Okay.
Didn't know them before. I friended them on Facebook after,
Obviously.
but then
you didn't remember them at all, really.
I mean, they're in my database.
Yeah.
Okay, so after I wrote happy birthday, I start seeing her stuff like the
Okay.
next few
Because
days.
you're connected.
Turns out she makes incredible like designer cakes.
Oh, wow.
Things that you see on TV.
Okay.
And I'm just amazed. She is now making my kid's birthday cake for Saturday.
I love it.
And I'm just like, I'm so glad that I started seeing her stuff.
Right. Because now
Anyway.
you're deepening that relationship.
Yes. And so
Okay.
the Facebook birthdays are important to me because I want to
Mhm.
make sure I treat my Facebook as kind of like a secondary database.
Right.
So to me, it is kind of like database work, making
Yeah.
sure as you look at each name, I ask myself, do these people need to be in my database? Do I
Mhm.
have their contact information?
Okay. Love it.
Of course, email clean out.
Mm-hmm.
I try to do it the first thing I'm available.
Okay.
Okay. Example, this morning, Haven had her program at school.
Right.
We had to be at school very early.
Mm-hmm.
The program didn't end till 10. The first time I checked my email today was at 10:15.
Yeah. Did
it
anyone
was fine.
die?
No one died.
They were all still
everyone
alive.
was fine.
Okay.
Everyone was fine.
Great.
So I don't make it like I have to get up and check my email immediately. It's
No.
but I do like it to be the first moment I have a moment. That's what I do because that's where the important things are that need to be addressed.
Right.
And I try to shut that down before I re-pick up my kids.
So you have 2 definites
Yes.
in a day.
And probably some in between,
Sure.
but definitely an opener and a closer.
Right. Especially on a day you're heavily scheduled.
Yeah.
Just in the beginning and then at the end.
Right.
Okay. What else daily?
I think that it might go to weekly at this point because every day I can tell you I do those 2 things.
Okay.
Then it kind of goes to like every Monday.
Mm-hmm.
My office has a Monday morning meeting.
Yeah.
It is my goal to be at the Monday morning meeting
Right.
and then maybe to work at my desk until lunch.
Okay.
That's my Monday. Wednesday is our sales meeting.
Okay.
It's nice to be at the office and then work.
I feel like we're doing bolder, like, when Anna teaches, I think more than the, time management tips, it's like the boulders and then the big rocks and then the pebbles. Like you start with your boulders. Like you were like, okay, well, I know on Thursday I'm going to record a podcast. I know on Monday I want to go to sales meeting. I know on Wednesday I'm going to do, or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like put all these big things in and then you start filling in everything else.
Right. I would say Wednesday and Friday are my most flexible days.
Yeah.
During the week.
Okay.
Sometimes one of those is my off day.
Okay.
It just depends on how the week looks.
Yeah. Do you still do an off day on Wednesday or Friday or whenever if you know that you're for sure off on both days of the weekend?
Sometimes not.
Yeah, then you might work.
Yeah, I'm fine to work Monday through Friday.
How strict are you if you're doing an off day on a weekday? Are you? Do you still work or do you really say, no, I'm not working?
I probably will not get dressed that day. So if
Okay.
someone wants to see something,
You're like, I can't.
I can't.
But you still go to the email.
I'll probably still check my email.
Yeah. Okay. I love it.
Sometimes I don't though.
That's fair. It's your day off. You do you.
I think it's like if someone texts me, hey, just sent you something, then obviously, time sensitive. But I don't mind just taking a peek. But I've also, so in the beginning of my career, I couldn't just take a peek at the email.
Because it would eat at you.
Yes, I had to address it right then.
Yeah.
Now I can take a peek and be like, okay, I'll do all that tomorrow. Great.
Right. Okay.
It's fine.
That's fair.
I don't know if that just comes with time or perspective or mindset therapy where you're realizing that these things can wait.
They can wait.
Yeah.
For sure.
So it just, that has gotten much easier for me because there was a time I couldn't do that at all.
Yeah.
If I saw it, I had to.
You had to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Several of my daily things are social media related, but with more intentionality.
Okay.
Okay. So let's not lie to ourselves. We're all going to get on social media in a day.
Yeah.
It was literally the first thing you just listed.
Right.
Okay. So if you're going to go on to social media and you have some sort of thoughtful, intentional strategy, like are you going to engage with people? Are you going to write comments? Are you going to respond to DMs? Are you going to post one story 3 times a day? Whatever it is, I think that's a daily thing. And that if you have a system in place of what it's going to be, that's ideal. I always respond to comments and DMs. So if I'm going to open my, Instagram, that's the number one thing I have to get done. Ideally, you probably would want to set a timer because you can end up in that rabbit hole pretty fast.
Right.
Right? I caught my DMs and my comments and now all of a sudden I'm scrolling through
looking at these ads
aimlessly and buying shirts and stuff. No. Okay, so those are my social things. I would also say there are some daily tasks within your real estate business that obviously cannot be put off until your office day. If you get a new buyer and they want an MLS search set up, if you need to write an offer or, send some sort of response document, a counter, or an addendum, all these things happen daily, right?
Yeah.
So even if it's not your
sensitive
office day, I'm doing air quotes, there's going to have to be some admin in every part of your workday.
Right.
At least 1 hour somewhere in the day, you've got to check the email and do the things.
Yes.
Return calls, text messages. That takes up a while. What else do I have? And then planning for the next day, I think is a really important part of your daily routine. So we have talked about morning routine and evening routine on previous episodes. I don't remember the numbers.
Okay.
But I think having some type of startup and shutdown is crucial, and that for you to think through what are the steps of that? Like, how do I start up my workday? How do I end my workday? And at the ending, you need to be planning out for the next day. So what did I not accomplish today that I was planning to do? How can I get that done for tomorrow? Like, does it need to carry over? Is it just a task that, as it turns out, I don't need to do? I think you got to plan, especially if you have a bunch of appointments the next day. I cannot get up and have appointments all over town and not think it through.
I may be working this evening because tomorrow, Friday, as we are recording, is Haven's birthday.
Oh my God.
And school is closed.
Well, lucky for her.
So Tate's school is still open, thank goodness.
Okay.
But Haven's is closed.
Okay.
But it's because it's her birthday, we have a special day. And
Okay.
I am not going to be checking my email or opening my computer tomorrow.
Right.
So this might be a night where after I put the kids to bed, I check one more time.
Because tomorrow's
Tomorrow's
for real off.
For real off.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be available. So,
Okay, I love that,
you
though.
know, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's not like I do it every night.
No.
But I just want to make sure that I can enjoy the day and not be stressed.
Right. Okay, I love that. But that's all about preparation.
Right.
So proactive instead of reactive. Okay, so how are we planning for the next day? All right. Are there any things that you want to do once a week or weekly besides your office meetings?
Not necessarily.
Okay, I'm going to give you some examples from my list.
Okay.
Number one.
This is for what? Daily or weekly?
Weekly, where
Okay.
we moved on from daily.
Okay, great.
I mean, other than client appointments, you know, showings, inspections, things that you have to do, closings, we've covered
yeah.
daily. Daily's actually not that hard.
It's not.
No, you're right, people. If you're wondering, where's my 1 hour time block of cold calling, it's not in there.
No.
Like, I mean, hopefully your social media strategy has something to do with your database, and maybe you're spending some time with your like you spend time with your database during your Facebook strategy, right?
Right.
Okay. But I mean, that would be what I would want to add in there if you were, but we're not going to put in cold calling. Moving right along. Okay.
But what about the people, because we get a lot of messages that people are trying to do the 5-5-5 every single day. 5 letters, 5 calls, 5 text messages, 5 DMs, 5
I mean, honestly, that only takes an hour.
every day.
But you don't have to do it every day.
I know, but that's what I wanted you to say, because we get lots of emails of people saying, I told myself I was going to do this 5-5-5 every single day, or that I was going to make 20 calls every single day. And then by
They
day
don't do
3,
one.
if you miss the first day, you really beat yourself up per your email that you've let
Right.
us know. And we're here to give you permission that just maybe that's not what's working for you.
I
You
mean-
have to find what does work.
Right. What tasks do you want to do?
Yeah.
And then maybe you're going to do them. But maybe change it to 5-5-5 weekly, and that means only one a day.
Right.
Or you do them all on one day, but you knock them out.
Mm-hmm.
Then maybe next week you add it to 7-7-7.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
what? Start at 1-1-1.
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing none?
Right.
Are you currently doing nothing?
Can we please celebrate that you did it for a day?
Right. If you're
One day?
Right. If you're currently doing nothing and then you do something, this is very Atomic Habits moment.
Yeah.
Just add a little thing, then add another thing.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to revamp the whole freaking thing. I just think that there's a lot of chatter, post, articles, talk, whatever, speakers who are going to tell you all of these glorious, here's what you should do every day. And then you listen to it and you're like, I would rather not do the vast majority of what they've just told me to do to be successful. I have no desire to do.
Yeah.
So I was reading an article in preparation for this podcast. And at one point they said from noon, it was a sample day for
Okay.
a successful agent. And I'm
Okay.
not going to get into who, but it was a giant coaching person. And they said from 12 to 4:30, you should be setting 3 90-minute appointments, either new buyers or listing appointments
Okay.
per day
3 90-minute appointments.
from 12 to 4:30. And the actual quote said, work your face off so you can go home at a decent hour.
Work your face off.
I was like, well, I don't want to work my face off.
I don't want to have 3 90-minute appointments.
If I had 3 90-minute appointments per day,
I'd be exhausted.
Number one, I would have more listings than I could ever handle.
Right. And where would you even get that all? Every day?
If I had y'all, I'm going to be very honest with you. At the volume that I go at it, if I had 3 appointments in a week, that'd be a great week and I'd be set.
Yeah.
3 a day?
I can't imagine.
How would you have time for anything else?
No.
And the thing was, if you didn't have, in the article, it did say if you were new and you didn't have 3 appointments set per day, you could use that additional block for more prospecting.
Oh, okay.
More lead generation.
Gotcha.
More cold calls. More door knocking. More expires and withdrawals.
Right.
Until you got in your groove and you had 3 appointments a day.
This is intense.
It's so intense.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the majority of our listeners are female. A lot of them are parents, female or male. I think that it's ridiculous to assume you had no life duties that came up during the course of the day, right? Like from 8 a.m. until 4:30 p.m., I just worked.
Right.
Hardcore.
I had no interruptions.
I worked my face off.
So that I could go home.
Right. I mean, come on.
I know it. The reason I think this is good to talk about is because I am one of the people that has fallen into the trap of reading sample schedules like this.
Right.
And it really getting into my head about I'm not doing enough,
right.
I'm not good enough, I should be working harder.
Right.
And this kind of gives you permission to remember that we're all real people.
Yeah.
We all have real responsibilities outside of work.
Yeah.
One of the goals of our podcast is to help you not live to be working.
Right.
But to work so that you can live.
And I think
your life comes before your work.
The other purpose is for you to say, wait a minute, just because I read that article doesn't mean I have to do that.
And that's why, because before this, I would have read that and been like, oh my gosh, I'm
so far behind.
I'm so far behind.
Right.
And that's just not the truth.
No. What if you're part-time? It's unrealistic.
What if you're in a different season? We have this Seasons of Life episode. We have some of our listeners taking care of older parents or becoming new grandparents or wherever you are in life where you just can't follow this strict, rigid schedule.
Right.
You need to have that flexibility.
I think the very simple key is don't do nothing.
Correct.
Just do something. But there's no... and it was
something that you're good at.
That you enjoy.
Something that you like.
Yeah.
That brings you energy and gets you excited. Not things that don't fill your calendar with things that fill you with dread.
Please don't.
Don't do that.
No.
Hey friends, we are here to tell you that we have made you a freebie.
A freebie.
It's free.
It's free.
Those are my favorite ones.
I know. Look, I love a good freebie, and this one is vital.
I love it.
Now, I will say we have always, since episode 9, way back then, when we had our database episode, the original, had our database template for free.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It is a spreadsheet. It is the column headers and some instructions on how to use it. It is not difficult.
No.
But we have amped it up this year. And now there is a who do you know list that comes with your database template.
So this list will really help you build your database. If you feel like you don't know who to add, how do I find people, this list gets you brainstorming about who do you already know.
Right. This even works if you're brand new to your area.
Yeah.
So who do you know? You're going to take the list and you're like, oh yeah.
I know these people.
I know them. And you're going to put them straight onto that database template and you're going to hit the ground running with your database work.
It's an excellent resource.
And you just have to visit hustlehumblypodcast.com/start here.
Yes, because the database is the foundation of your business. It's where you need to start.
Start there.
Perfect.
Okay. Enjoy. Okay. Let's talk about weekly.
Okay.
Here are a few. All right. Add contacts to your database. check in with your database. If you're going to do something like birthday cards, like what are the strategies you're using for your database? I do think a weekly, like let's just say you're scrolling through like you do, start at the A's, contact a few people every day or once a week or however long you're going to do it. I think that's okay to do weekly. It doesn't mean you touched everybody weekly.
No.
You just got the
that
first
chunk.
few, right? Yeah. Okay. If you have to purchase closing gifts, if you're looking to do maybe some type of training or education or listen to a podcast, that would be a weekly thing. Plan your social media content if you need to do that. What about your transaction check-in? I'm not checking on my transactions every day.
Every day.
That is not necessary.
No.
Once a week should be more than enough unless you get an email, text, or a phone call that isn't, a bump for something, right? Like I need something. Otherwise, I don't need to check in and go through my checklist every day. Not necessary.
I have my internet browser set up to the main tabs that I need.
Okay.
So whenever I click on the internet, it automatically opens my email.
Right.
And my Trello.
Okay.
And MLS.
Love it.
So it's just
there.
And that also helps me because Trello is great, but you have to look at it.
Great idea.
Put
it in the startup.
You do have to look at it. And so having it on my startup has been really helpful to just keep the important things top of mind.
Yeah. Or if you're trying to use your CRM or some other type of, make it so it's in front of your face. If you don't see it, you're not going to use it. Right? Okay, let's finish the week. Planning the following week. Like, when is your office day going to be? Obviously, our schedules change week to week. When are you going to meal plan or grocery shop or do your laundry or take a day off?
Yeah, we still have other things to do.
We have to plan it. All right. I like to review my activity sheet. And so that's like my planner, but I don't have a planner.
Right.
So I have like a 1 page, what happens next week? Who am I following up with? It's like Trello on paper, I like to do that. A finance check-in. If you're not keeping up with the money coming in and the money going out, you're not running a business.
No.
And you better do it once a week.
At least.
For sure.
At any given moment, you should be able to say exactly how much is in your account.
Right. And how much you owe in taxes.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to know.
No surprises.
Okay. Filing. If you're doing any type of filing, you got to do that weekly. If you want to, I did 5 handwritten notes. If you want to do that, I think 5 a week is fine. Do you need to do 5 a day? No.
Unless you just love to write.
If it's like the thing that brings you so much joy at the end of the day, great. Now, I will tell you the Brian Buffini story. I think Brian is an amazing database worker. Like, that is what he teaches. He did it very successfully when he had his real estate business open. He obviously coaches hundreds of thousands of people to do it now. He said his personal goal was to do 5 notes a day, handwritten notes a day. And he told his assistant to put the 5 notes on his day, like the cards on his desk every morning.
Okay.
And if he didn't do it the day before, 5 more showed up. And if he didn't do it that day, 5 more showed up. And he had to get them done.
Cleaned out. Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know that I agree with this method because it feels like the weight of the world is then crushing you.
Right.
Like, if you didn't do the 5 a day and 5 more showed up and then 5 more and then 5 more, you would be like, this is not going to happen.
Right.
But at least if you put the 5 on your desk, try to get those done by the end of the week. And then you put 5 more. Right?
Yeah.
But it worked for him.
Yeah.
His clients remembered him. Now, he didn't have the luxury of being able to use social media.
Correct.
Right? So if he wanted to stay in front of those people, he had to call them or he had to write them.
And if we had no social media, I'd probably have a lot more time to do that.
That's also true. But you have to think about what a bigger impact you would have if all of the people that you are your friends could possibly see your nice note.
Right.
It's just a quicker, scalable way to talk to your database.
Yeah.
Right? Or what if you did a really nice email newsletter? Might be able to get to those people right away without... Anyway, moving on from the 5 handwritten notes. Okay, preparing marketing for listings. So if you're doing something for your listings, I would say that's weekly, not daily. I do a Friday shutdown routine that's very important to me. And if you're going to request reviews, I think that's a weekly, not a daily.
Okay.
All right, so weeklies.
Yeah.
Are you ready to go on to monthly?
Yeah.
Newsletter. We don't think you need to do it more than that, right? If you want to do a deep dive into your finances, budget check-in, I think monthly would probably be a good time to do that. Like I print up my budget every month.
Right.
So that I know what I got to do that month. Setting aside your tax payments. I mean, I think once a month you got to make sure. Record transactions you should be keeping track of where your business comes from. I don't care how you record it, on a piece of paper, in a spreadsheet, on a whatever, like on a board in your office, but you need to write them down. Where did they come from? What's going on? Okay, clean off your computer desktop. I'm so bad at this.
Oh, I love to do that.
But yours is probably nice and tidy.
It is, because I clean it.
Your daily task is to clean out your photos.
I do clean out my photos every day.
So your digital footprint and your digital clutter is important to keep under control.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and then update the reviews on your website if you're keeping yours in one place now, the way I have.
Right.
If you got reviews during the month, you need to cut and paste those onto your documents so you house them somewhere that belongs to you. Mm-hmm. Okay, are we ready for quarterly?
Yep.
I have in here, if you're going to do database pop by, if you want to pop by your database, go to their home. You most definitely do not need to go more than once a quarter. Twice a year, once a year, fine.
For sure.
Okay, but please not once a month, not necessary. Obviously, you have to pay your taxes quarterly. Mm-hmm. Make that payment.
Yep.
Review your yearly budget, business expenses. Put together your buyer-seller folder. So if you have some type of listing presentation, buyer folder, whatever, like buyer, consult, I like to keep 5 or more of them done. And I probably 10 at a time, I'll do them quarterly. Mm-hmm. So that I can just grab them and go. But basically have those things ready. Update your vendor list and scrub your database and update your email templates.
Delightful.
Right? Mm-hmm. But you don't need to do that every day or every month or every week or it's once a quarter. And look, you could possibly spread these things out. We're not doing them all in the same day. Mm-hmm. And then let's talk about yearly, things we don't need to do other than once a year. Clean out your file cabinet, prepare your docs for your taxes. I mean, we're not doing this all the time.
No, it's tax time.
Tax time. Do your business plan for next year. We only need to do this once. Goal set. Only need to do this once. Do you want a vision board? I feel like once a year is plenty. Update your resume. Only need to do this once.
I feel like almost all the yearly stuff is a December, January project.
I know.
Because you have to update years on your resume or...
Right.
It just
But here's the good news. That's when real estate is slowest.
So it's a good clean out time.
It's a perfect time to do that. Updating your business rules, your niche, if you're making like a certain business philosophy, like I have a philosophy for buyers and sellers. What is it? Do I need to change it? If you have a mission statement or your bios or things that are like, the foundational pieces of your business, I don't think you need to change your business card every day, every week. You know what I mean? Like once a year, check on it. Do you need signs? Once a year. A lot of that is from the sprucing episode too.
Yes.
Right? Like you only need to do these things once a year.
Good spruce up.
Yeah. Check your email signature, your profiles. Make sure you update any materials that you give clients, right? So do you have the current forms that you need? Mm-hmm. That's it for the year.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of things that you may hear people tell you to do. Because I don't actually do them in my business.
We're not here to lie to you.
Right. These are the things I do. You can add to.
I do wonder, like the people when they are saying the 555 or like the motivational people, the speakers.
Right.
I'm like, but you don't sell real estate.
Right.
Some of them, you know? It's easy to say what to do. But we want to be we're out in the field with you guys.
I want to come at this from an imperfect place where I've never had a perfect day. No. Maybe a couple. I mean, I've been doing this 17 years. Maybe I did really well a couple of times.
Yeah, where you're like,
it's not like
everything just worked out today.
Every day I wake up at 5 and I do all of these things. No.
Right.
But I do weekly meal plan. I'm pretty good. Like
I know. I wish I could do that like you.
There's certain things There's certain things you're going to be good at, which will save you time, and certain things that you're not going to be good at, which is going to suck time, right?
Right.
It's really about finding the balance between saving time and sucking time.
And what are you good at?
Right. So do the things you're good at quickly, and then you have more time to do the things you suck at. Right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, maybe it takes you a while to do laundry. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it takes you a while to write 5 notes, but you do it, but it just takes a while. Maybe it takes you a while to do data entry or file or like get ready for your taxes. But but don't. I think the problem is we look at the full list and feel like they're all daily.
Correct.
And
we
not.
have to do all these things all the time.
No.
Right. It's really not that hard.
It's really not that hard. And that's what I think happens, though. We start to realize it's not that hard, or we just don't do all the things we want to do. And then your days get spent scrolling Instagram or like eating 2-hour lunches or like, well, I'll just let this thing. Oh, God, what is the one that Anna talks about? Pareto's principle, that the work will expand to fill the time allotted.
Oh, yes.
So if you give yourself 2 hours to do a task, it'll take 2 hours. If you give yourself 6, it'll take 6. Only you can figure that out. And you get faster and faster. Like I can check on all my transactions in 15 minutes.
Right.
Right? Because you get more confident the more times you do it.
Yeah.
So then you move faster. Okay.
So this sheet that we went over is included in the time management.
Yeah, you can get it in time management. And the way I teach it is just you can review the items on the list and then kind of like add things that you do that I don't.
Okay.
Or remove things that you don't want to do in your business. And then I make you highlight all of the urgent versus it can wait list items.
Nice. Okay.
So that you know what is urgent. Okay, writing a counter is urgent. Writing my 5 notes, maybe not urgent. Like what can urgent versus it can wait. And then I say to underline the tasks that you can do in batches.
Okay.
What are things on here that maybe you can put into a time block or a task batch? And then I say to star the task that could be outsourced, completed by an admin or your office. What are the things on this list that have to be done in your business, but they don't have to be done by you? Right?
That's good.
Like who's going to do that? MLS input or whatever it is. And then if you guys take nothing away from this podcast, if you can just start scheduling into your calendar, like in black and white, your off day and your office day, your life will be transformed.
Those 2 days, gosh, my saving grace.
I mean, that's really all it takes. And then if you have a full office day where you didn't allow yourself to leave your office, whether it's at home or in your, broker's office, you didn't go to a fun lunch, you didn't go to a broker tour. Like, no, it was an actual office day. You can complete so many of these tasks.
Yeah.
Like a lot if you're doing a weekly office day. Okay. And then I would say it wouldn't hurt to go ahead and put on your calendar which office days are designated for your monthly task. Okay. Well, this office day, my focus is my newsletter. This office day is my quarterly tax. Like, what are you...
You need to give yourself some direction, some parameters.
You could start at the beginning of the year and be like, this Office Tuesday is my, database clean out 3 times whatever you want to do. But put it
on the calendar.
If you don't schedule it, it won't happen.
Correct.
Okay. Anything else you want to say? We've done a full office day episode, so I know we've given like the how you structure that, what are your time blocks kind of thing. I don't think we need to get into that. Is there anything else that you feel like is I don't know.
I mean, we talked about you can go back and listening to our morning and evening routine episodes.
I would do that.
Our spruce up episode. Take a day off.
Yeah.
So we have some good.
Like
if you want to dive in, if you want to dive into this more, there's plenty of episodes that complement this.
I think we also lie to ourselves and tell ourselves that because our business is flexible and changing and the appointments could be anytime, that we cannot actually create an ideal day. And I think that's total BS.
Yeah.
Like you can say, but make it in blocks instead of like, it has to be the whole day. I mean, even if you got a closing scheduled in what you thought was going to be your office day, then make the afternoon your office block.
You could just have an office morning and then go to your closing.
Right. Yeah. Why does it have to be we're very all or nothing people.
I'm that way. I struggle. I have to watch myself and be like, if I don't have time to do the whole thing, I'm not going to do it at all.
The other thing I want to talk about is a lot of people talk about top 3. Like, what are your top 3 for the day? Like, what are the big tasks you're trying to do? Sometimes my top 3 last for 2 weeks. Like, it doesn't get done for 2 weeks. I mean, like, you can have I think having a top 3 for your week is probably more in line with how the reality of real estate is.
That's kind of how I am with my email
Right.
I don't really keep it at inbox 0. When I get to inbox 0, I'm very excited, but that probably only happens like once or twice a month, maybe.
Right.
Because sometimes things sit there that I need to do, but I haven't done them yet, but I can't delete it because I haven't done it yet.
Right.
But it's that it's there that is keeping me on track to do it.
Right.
And it will get done. It will.
So I get to inbox 0. You get there twice a month. I get there twice a year.
Okay.
But I'm like, celebrate.
Yeah.
It's empty.
Mm-hmm.
And, the more you focus on making that a priority, I think the easier it is to get it to 0.
Sure.
If that's your goal.
Yes.
Which we think it probably should be.
Yeah. It's a good, that's how you know everyone's taken care of.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else you want to talk about with task frequency?
I think one of the things that we kind of touched on is how I mentioned if I can't finish the whole thing, I just don't want to do it at all.
Right.
Reading Atomic Habits really helped me.
Yeah.
Because he said, instead of saying, I only have 15 minutes, I'm not going to do this, saying, how much can I get done in 15 minutes?
Right.
If you are sitting in your car waiting on a buyer to show up or at the doctor's office waiting on an appointment, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Don't let that be wasted time.
No.
That could be time that you do a quick email clean out and just swipe, delete the things you know can be deleted.
Mm-hmm.
That can be a time that you do go on Facebook and do all the birthdays.
Yeah.
If you use your time wisely, by the end of the day, you really are off.
Yeah.
And so those 15-minute breaks where you're waiting on things during the day, just do your best to try to make them productive. I did have to set timers on my Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
So it reminds me, hey, you've been scrolling for 15 minutes. Is it time to get off? And I'm like, that was fast.
Yeah,
I thought it had been like 5 minutes.
Right.
So there are things to just be, if you feel like you're drowning in your schedule.
Yeah.
It's just think about, like you said, with the time audit, how are you using your time now?
Right. And don't be so hard on yourself. You're not using it perfectly. No one is.
No.
No one is using all their time perfectly.
Mm-mm. No one's got it all together.
No.
I don't.
No, I don't.
You don't?
No, not even close.
You're a good meal prepper, though.
Everyone has successes in their day, right?
Yeah.
Like, you gotta use your situation, contextually choose your schedule, and then give yourself some grace if you don't keep up with it exactly the way you want to.
Right.
Because what's worse is just saying, never mind, I won't try anymore.
Mm-hmm. Don't do that.
Can't do everything, but you can do something.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, are you ready for a toast?
I am.
Okay, great. Let's see here. We are going to do... Our toast is from Arkansas, and Austin Barker is toasting to Danielle Barker. What do you think about this?
Are they related?
It's his wife.
Oh,
my
that's
wife
so nice.
and I are both somewhat newer agents from Northwest Arkansas who have just been absolutely crushing it. Wow. I love that.
Great.
She has been a faithful listener for over a year and a half now and has listened through your library. Okay, hold on. Twice. Oh my God.
She's listened through the whole library twice.
She is the bravest person I know, so much so that she has never looked back since leaving her stable career as a teacher. She is my biggest hero and mentor, and without her guidance, I would never had the gall to start my own career.
That's so sweet.
I mean,
so supportive.
Austin, that's wonderful.
And he knows she's going to hear this because
she has
she's
listened
a listener.
Twice. So cheers to Danielle and thank you to Austin. And I love hearing stories of good husband-wife teams.
Yeah.
So sweet.
I know.
And it's nice when someone is supporting you. And it's even better when they know what you're going through.
Yes.
Right?
They know everything.
Okay, so y'all, being productive isn't about doing everything. It's about getting something done and then tomorrow getting maybe something else done.
And just be proud of yourself that you did something.
Right. That's it.
You're already ahead.
You're already ahead. If you listen to this episode, you're already ahead.
You're ahead.
Okay, goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
thank you so much for tuning in to the Hustle Humbly podcast. Let us know who we should toast to for the next episode.
Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Hustle Humbly Podcast. If you have an episode, topic, or question, please email us at hustlehumblypodcast@gmail.com.
Be sure to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. See you next week.
Bye.